everyone, today I'm here with a book haul. I bought quite a few books for various reasons, classics, poetries, plays and things like that, and I thought that I would share them with you today. The first book I got is Jacob's Room by Virginia Woolf. This is her first truly experimental novel. It tracks the life of Jacob from when he was a young boy playing in the sands through the years of Cambridge and to Greece, but we never get it from Jacob's view. It's always told through little snippets of other people's lives. It's breaking down the way that we tell the story. Virginia Woolf was really trying to develop her own writing style and the writing style of women at the time. I got Mrs. Dalloway while I was there. This is another Virginia Woolf book. This is of course one day in a lady's life as she readies herself for a party and looks back on choices she's made and memories she has, and she re-examines her life. The next book I have is Gargantua by Francois Rebbe. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it. Obviously I used to have sometimes some trouble, and this is French, so really I have no no chance. This is telling the story of Gargantua, who is a giant. It's also tracking his life in little stories, and it's hilarious. It's meant to be funny, and it's meant to be crude, and it is crude, and I do recommend it because I nearly finished it, and I'll talk more about it in my wrap-up. Another book which was on my world literature list is Metamorphosis and Other Stories by Franz Kafka. Of course, this has got the famous Metamorphosis story in it of a man who wakes up after a horrific transformation. I've already read that, but I'm interested to read the other stories that are in here. And it's a Penguin Modern Classic. I like it when that bookstore has Penguin Modern Classics in it because obviously they sell them for really cheap. So that's really good. It's Metamorphoses is another world literature book that I needed. I ordered this one off Amazon. Stories are also about our transformation. It's Ovid's poetry on, Greek and Roman mythology. This was translated by David Rayburn in Hexameterverse, which I've heard is very accessible translation of reading, which is good for my first time of reading any epic poetry like this. It's the Penguin Classics edition. We're still going on the classics theme. We have Dante's The Inferno. This one in particular wasn't actually on the list, but Dante was, and I feel that for world literature, Dante is going to be one which will be really good to read. And then of course we have the play, which is Hamlet. Obviously one of the more famous of William Shakespeare's plays. This is a tragedy, story of the boy whose father asks him to avenge him. This is the RSC edition, because this is the one which was requested of me to get. I think this one has very white pages. Not that that's really anything to boast about, but yeah, it's there. And while I was in that discount bookstore, I just picked up Hamlet character studies just to see if there was any useful information in this for the course, because it was only cheap. So it's really good when you can get them. I think that these are worth a flick through if you can ever find them. The last thing I have in that vein is the Norton Anthology of Poetry. I know it's big, it's over 2,000 pages of big, and it's one of those floppy books, which is brilliant because it just flops right open on whatever page you want it, and it doesn't damage the spine. So I'm hoping that it will stay nice of all the use I'm going to get out of it, because that is a lot of pages. So yes, this wasn't cheap, but obviously I'm going to have this forever and love on this. I think it's good when you can find a good anthology, and this one is certainly full of a lot of poems. This is the 5th edition, Margaret Ferguson, Mary Jo Slater and John Stalworthy. Shall we look at it a moment? Shall we? Yeah. I'm not really sure if you want to bother of me hauling my Oxford Concise Dictionary of Literary Terms, but since this is a haul of all the books I've got recently, this is in it. I got this one second hand for a penny from Amazon, which is really good because it's just a dictionary. I didn't want to have to fork out lots for a dictionary, and this one's in really good condition. So yes, there it is. Should we read a definition at random? Egotistical sublime, the phrase by which John Keats criticised what he felt to be the excessively self-centred quality of Wordsworth's poetry. Ooh, Keats. Now we're at the part of the haul where I bought a few more modern books just for in-between reading. These are not for any course. Now, I picked up from that bookstore The Sea by John Banville for £2.99, which is the average price they sell all of their books for there. And I'm really happy I have this one because I've already read this one on Kindle, but I've really, really enjoyed it, so I wanted to have it to read again. I like to reread in the paper copy if I have them and then keep them. This won the Man Booker Prize in 2005. It's about a man who returns to the seaside village that he always stayed on when he was a child and had intimate relationships with one family there, and that family were very strange and he was also strange, and there's this real surreal kind of tense feeling as you're reading this book, but the writing is just beautiful. So as well as this, I also picked up Mephisto, a novel also by John Banville, because this one sounds incredibly interesting. This is a modern day retelling of the Faust legend. Faust was a highly successful scholar who was dissatisfied with his life, so he made a pact with the devil and sold his soul for unlimited knowledge and worldly pleasures. This retelling explores the relationship between science and the real world, so I'm excited to read this one soon. I think the cover is really quite Last book I picked up on there on a bit of a whim is The Last Dance and Other Stories by Victoria Hislop. This is a short story collection, and I have been wanting to read some short story collections after Mercy's book is Musings talks about short story collections a lot. This collection centres around Greece. In 10 powerful stories, Victoria Hislop takes us through the streets of Athens and into the tree-lined squares of Greek villages. As she brings to life their distinct atmospheres, she creates a host of unforgettable characters, from a lonesome priest to battling brothers, and from an unwanted stranger to a groom troubled by music and memory. These bittersweet tales of love and loyalty, of separation and reconciliation capture Victoria Hislop's unique voice, will stay with you long after you reach the end. I'm hoping this is a good collection. I will tell you more and probably do a review of it once I've read them. I love it how in a lot of short story collections they have a nice little illustration that goes with the front. This is the priest and the parrot. So yes, that was my haul. I hope you enjoyed watching it. I know that I don't always read books like this, but these will be a main focus at the moment. To read some of, if I read any of these, then I will hopefully have a review upon them. So thank you for watching, and please tell me if you've read any of these, particularly please tell me if you've read any of these, particularly if you've read any other John Banville books that are good, because I really want to read more of him as an author. Also any Victoria Hislop books. I know that The Island is really good and I might read that at some point, but I don't have that one right now. Okay, bye!